2020, and somewhat sunny day here in upstate New York. 35 degrees. I guess that's the best we could hope for January in this area. But thought it'd be a nice day to go down, check on the boat. I like to get down there every month or so during the winter just to make sure there's nothing going on down there, and try to squeeze in some little maintenance items. So we'll see how that works out today. Hey guys, one of the first things I like to do when I get down here in the winter is to charge the batteries. I don't really like taking all the batteries off the boat for the winter. There's 6 batteries on the boat, some of them tough to get to, so I do keep them hooked up, but I make it a point to get down here at least every month or so and charge the batteries up with a small generator. Now most of these larger size boats have a shore power cord, 50 amp or 30 amp, which you can't just plug into most of the standard generators. So what I picked up, found it on Home Depot, a lot cheaper than the boating stores, is a 15 amp to 50 amp adapter. You just plug a regular extension cord into this end. This goes right into the shore power plug on the boat, and it provides 120 volts to both sides of the 50 amp adapter. You got to be careful not to overload it, of course. It's not going to draw more than what your generator can put out over a 15 amp plug. So you can't power everything in the boat, obviously, but I found it has no problem charging the battery charger. It's cold in here, so I even have a small electric heater when I'm working in the cabin in the winter and just checking things out. So I'll show you that too. So pretty simple to hook up, just like all the rest of your shore power. Only plug in one way, so sometimes it's a little tricky to find the notch. Once you get to the point, plugs right in. There's the locking ring. Spin on there nice. Now it's there all the way. And then you just hook up the extension cord to the other side. Let's fire up the generator. All right, what next we're going to have to do is we got to turn on all the batteries. All the disconnect switches were shut off to limit the amount of residual drain on the batteries. There's always going to be some draw. That's why I like to get down here and charge the batteries every month or so. But I do shut them off when I get off the boat. Good practice. So on this particular boat, they make it really easy. This is right in the salon. Turn on all the batteries, gen set, the house. You got the starboard and port engines. You just flip on any other circuits that I turned off, and let's see, I think we're good there. This is a 2006 Meridian 341. Every boat's going to be different, obviously. All right, so now here in the panel you can see we do now have lights coming in, electric for the shore power, shown on both 1 and 2. So all we got to do is flip that on. You see we got voltage coming in here on the meter. I don't know if you can see that with the light on, but shore power 2. So now we have 120 volts on both load A and load B, or group 1 and 2, whatever you want to call it. All right, so with that on, now we could just start flipping AC switches to see what we want to turn on. I don't obviously want to turn on like air conditioners or refrigerators or anything like that, but here we have the battery charger. I flip that on, and I don't know if you could really hear it, but the generator did load down a little bit. The RPM slowed up as it caught up to the draw for the battery charger. So we'll let that go for a couple seconds. I think it cycles through some testing, and we'll go down below and check the, here we go. It just kicked on. You saw the voltage drop when it pulled in all the current, but we'll go down in the engine room and see how the battery charge is doing. All right, so I'm gonna check the battery charger. I heard the fan going on it, so it was working. And here we are. You can see the amps changing. The fan just turned on. It's putting out 20 amps of charging current. And it'll cycle through and it'll lower the charging amps as the batteries need it. So I'll let that run, for an hour or so that I'm down here, and get to work on some other things. So while I'm down here, I want to just take a peek around. You can see that's one of the batteries way there in the corner that I would have to get to disconnect and pull out of the boat at the end of every season. And that's just one of them, and there's 6 of those about that size in the boat. I believe that one there might be the stern thruster battery. I'm not sure. I'd have to check that. I only have this boat about 8 months now, 6 months. I also look around, make sure we don't have any critters. I did run into that a couple boats ago, some years ago, where a raccoon got in the boat. No, not in the engine room, but it got up into the air conditioner ductwork and ripped that to shreds and made a nice nest out of it. So that was a mess to clean up. But it's always a good idea to take a look around. There's another battery. And make sure you have no signs of any nests or critter droppings. What they like to do is tear up insulation and cushions, life vests, anything to make themselves a nest. So you'll see some telltales of that. But they're looking pretty good. I didn't expect to have anything in here. Up top and outside is what I worry about. All right, we do have, as you notice, we have the lights on in the engine room. I turned on some of the DC switches just to get some lights. And you can see up here we got our voltage. We got the starboard voltage is just over 14 volts on the meter. The house batteries over 14. And the starboard battery. So they're all charging good. So we'll let that go a little bit. All right, so it's a little chilly in here, so what I am going to do, I have this electric heater that's plugged into a 120 wall outlet, and I've tested this last time I was down here, and that the generator does support the battery charger and the heater at the same time. I keep it on a lower setting where they just get some of the chill out of the air and inside the boat. It's all shrunk. It's all wrapped up so it doesn't get too warm in here if it does get a little warmer outside, but 35 degrees out, not too good. All right, so we have our heater working. I actually do have it on a high setting, and we're listening to the generator, and its RPM kicked up a little bit to handle the draw, but I didn't talk about the generator. It's a Generac 2000 watt inverter generator. So the cord can't handle more much more than that anyway, so the generator will trip the circuit breaker before we overload anything on the boat. So you can feel some heat coming out of there, so that'll feel good. Keep us cozy in here as we get to work on the other projects that I have for the next hour or so. Hope it's not too noisy for you, but I'm going to go up top, check to see up by the helm if everything's all right. Again, looking for critters. No critters, but it's dirty up here. We'll get this all cleaned up in the springtime. So we have shrink wrap. We had some issue. We had about 2 feet of snow right after Thanksgiving last year, and had a little problem. As you can see, the shrink wrap support punched through some of the shrink wrap from the weight of the snow. So we're not 100% sealed. There's some tape up there. Gotta love when that happens and you spend $800 to get the shrink wrap put on. So that's out on the bow. You can see what looks like some holes, and they were holes, but they've been taped up. That just happens sometimes when they shrink wrap the plastic and put too much heat in one spot, burn a hole through it. But a little bit of tape covers that up. Covered the whole helm up, covered the seats up best I can with some plain old tarps. The shrink wrap should protect it all, but I actually put this up here because it was some lag time between the shrink wrap going up and me taking the canvas down, so I didn't want to leave anything exposed. But we're looking pretty good. This is pretty much how I left it, with the exception of the skylight I now have. So next year we'll just have to make sure to pay a little more attention to that. Alright, sit down below. Alright, so we're in the salon now, and one of the projects I had for the winter were to replace these incandescent lights, or halogen, whatever they are, with LEDs, so we have a little less current draw on the batteries when we're at anchor, which we try to do a lot of. One of the problems with these recessed lighting is that they're very difficult to get out. They have a type of spring mechanism that holds them up in the ceiling, and one of the tricks that I've heard to take them out is to use spoons to sort of wedge up in there and pull the lights down. Unfortunately, some of them are so difficult to get out that when I tried taking one of them off, it broke the spot welds on the trim ring for the light, and it popped this off. So I need to find another way to get this one out. I'm hoping I don't have to take the whole valance down, but it looks like there's screws that are easy enough to get to, or maybe I could drop this down to change these light bulbs. I was able to change a few of them. Oh, they're not on, but a couple of them here. That's an LED. It's a warm white, I believe they call it, not the cool light LEDs. So it's a little more warmer, I guess. So what I've read, to fix these trim rings, you can replace the whole light. I believe they go for about $50–60 to replace the fixture itself. But I've also read that, you know, some Meridian owners, and I guess Sea Ray, because Meridian and Sea Ray have very similar boats and fixtures, use JB Weld to reattach this onto the fitting. So I'll play around with that once I get the light out, take it for a home project. So let's see how the spoon method works. So here's a close-up of the light with the trim piece intact, and from what I hear, it's, you know, you can't just pull them out by hand. Very difficult. So what they say to do is to find the point where the springs are mounted, and from looking at it you can't tell, but if you see these lights swivel like this back and forth, and oops, sorry, so the pivot point being here and here, you can see they bend here. The springs are supposed to be here then and here. So what I've read is that the best bet is to get a spoon on each side and wedge it down, and it should pull the whole thing out. Now I tried that on this one, and this trim ring popped off because it only has a few spot welds that hold it on. Oops. And there it goes. So that one I can no longer get out. I might be able to grip it with pliers. It is a metal housing, so it's pretty robust, but I may have to go up in here and pull the whole valance down to get to the back side. So it's those two lights. I haven't replaced those two with LEDs yet, so let's see what we can do. All right, let's try this spoon trick on this other light. It's on the starboard side. This doesn't have access through the valance at the top. It's all closed in, so hopefully it's a little easier. You say 2 spoons, but it always seems like the second one is not getting leverage on the back. So I'll just stick with one. Once you get enough out, you get your fingers in there. It's just, oh, there we go. All right. Trick with the spoon is not to damage fabric vinyl up there. And just change the bulb like the other ones. Good trick. So here are the 2 bulbs I'm changing out. This is the original incandescent bulb or halogen, whatever it may be, and these are the new LEDs I picked up on Amazon. You know, they're just they're fairly cheap. I don't remember exactly what I got them for, but made in China. This was the model number I got on the package. And let's see, I could probably send a link to them when I put this video together. But they're G4 bulbs. I got a package of 20. They're fairly cheap. I don't believe I paid more than $40 for the pack. But you can tell they are not the exact size match, which is a minor issue when I install them in the fixtures. But they seem to work. I don't have any problem with it. I believe they do make shorter ones, but being I was able to get these in, I didn't make too much of a big deal about it. Maybe next time I order more, I'll get the shorter ones. But you need to be careful you don't have the new bulbs. LEDs tend to be a little bit bigger, and they got all the circuitry inside. But let's swap these out and see how it goes. See? Now this is the one that's like the others. So the reflector has got a little lip on it, so it's a little different from the others. You can't just put the bulb in there. A little lip. Well, I guess not all of them are like that. So in that case, I just put the bulb through the other side. Springs back on. There you go. We're working. One went nice and easy. Wish they'd roll like that. So I think that's enough maintenance for today on this chilly January day. I'm hoping to do a lot more of these videos as far as maintenance as I get to know this boat a little bit better. We picked it up Labor Day weekend or thereabouts. Drove it up from Maryland up here to on the Hudson River in upstate New York, just south of Albany. 400-mile trip. We had a couple bumps in the road, nothing major, but we feel it's a good boat, and we're looking forward to this year taking a lot of trips with it. And I'll try to make videos as I do work on it. And I know the Meridian Yacht Owners Group, everybody has a lot of photos, and I'm going to be posting the videos on there and also on YouTube. So you know, hit subscribe if you're interested, and we'll bring more videos to you. So if you got any suggestions, let me know. If there's anything about the boat that you want to see a little bit more, you know, some of the workings of it or some maintenance that needs to get done on yours, and you just let me know. Looking forward to doing more videos and sharing the adventures of happy hours. So see you soon.